It's day 4, I think, unless I've lost count. It is. It's day 4 of the Homestead Startup Week. Kickoff week, sorry. It's been so much fun watching all these instructional videos. I hope you guys are enjoying it. The instructors that have tag teamed and joined forces, it's just been so fun. I know that every video probably tells you about this, but I want to make sure before I dive into today's lesson that I don't forget to tell you, check out the Homestead Bundle. If you're watching this live or anytime, you can go to the link in my bio, and it explains not only about that amazing offer at 99% off. These resources are incredible. My maple syrup university is included. It explains how you can tap trees in any state of the nation, and how there are more than 30 varieties of trees that you can tap. It explains how you can use the sap to get an amazing medicinal drink if you don't have enough trees to make much syrup. And my course also explains how to take maple syrup that you purchase at the store or anywhere and turn it into shelf-stable maple sugar. It's so easy, it's so worthwhile, and it's actually super fun too. So all that is in my course, Maple Syrup University. It's a $229 retail value. It's in the bundle. So please go check it out. I've also added an extra special gift that you won't find anywhere else. If you decide that you want to purchase the bundle through my link, just let me know that you did that and what email you used, and I will send you a resource called Fresh Flour Formula and a few more gifts to really get you started with improving this one ingredient in your kitchen that most people aren't thinking about, flour. If you're buying it at the store, you're missing out on 80% of the nutrients or more. Not to mention the other problems you're running into if it's not organic flour, but we won't get into that because today's topic is medicinal drinks and how I grow them in my garden. Our whole day today is garden to table, I believe is what it's officially called. And I know for most people, you know, that's amazing BLTs and some great salads on your plate for dinner. But for me, it also includes drinks because I'm a drink fanatic. And I realized many years ago that I wanted to make those drinks healthy because I was drinking too many junkie drinks. My family loves soda. So, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up just a little. First of all, let me know. Hello, guys. I'm so glad you're popping in. Let me know. Are you a tea person or a coffee person? Because I used to believe there were very firm lines and you were one or the other. So let me know. Anybody want to tell me before I tell you my story? Tea or coffee? If you had to have only one the rest of your life, would it be tea or would it be coffee? I used to think that I hated coffee, guys. I honestly, I was one of those people that I liked the taste of it. I'm sorry, I loved the smell of it, but I just didn't like the taste. I don't know why, looking back, but I was firm on this. I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee. I'm a tea person. Well, I came across this tea blend from one of my favorite little tea companies. And I'll share the original one that got me hooked. I'll share that with you. If you come at workshop when this is over, I have a whole bunch of resources I want to send you, and that'll be one of them, along with my recipe that I make my own. But tried this tea, and I was like, wow, this is really good. This is like the best tea I've ever had. And I really became, addicted to this tea. Turns out I knew it was a medicinal tea, so I wasn't concerned that I was addicted, and I drank it without sweetener, so there's no reason to not enjoy this tea as much as I wanted. I had been drinking this tea for probably a year or two, and a daughter had a cup of it. She turned to me, because she knew how I'm always talking about, I'm a tea person, I don't like coffee, I don't like coffee. She turned to me and she said, Mom, you like coffee. This tea, it tastes just like coffee. I'm like, no. So a few weeks after that, she took me out for a latte. And I now am officially hooked on lattes. And I actually have a cup of coffee once in a while too. So I realized that you can be both. I am a tea and a coffee person. But if I had to only choose one, it would be tea. Simply because I figured out how to make a tea that tastes like coffee, guys. So I got a call from Fox News last fall so excited. He wanted to talk about my medicinal drink garden. What he really loved, though, was the whole coffee thing. And it was coming up, I think it was National Coffee Day coming up. So that's why he made the connection. He's like, okay, we're going to do an article about how you grow coffee. I said, that's fine. Officially, it's not coffee. Officially, it's chicory, but it is a coffee substitute. So he rolled with it, and I was so excited. There's a whole Fox News article about my medicinal garden. I'll send you a link to that as well if you'd like to check it out. So that's where I'm going to start, I think, is to show you what I have here. Which one is which? I have all these roots. I have all these roots in jars. And I'm like, wait, which one's which? They aren't labeled. This is the cross section of the roots of the chicory plants that I grow. Let me show you. Oh, they smell so good. I sliced them, dehydrated them, and roasted them. That one almost looks like a heart. Aww, do you see it? Right? It looks like a heart, right? And then after this, I store them like this until I'm ready to chop them up. And then if you chop them up finely, you get chicory powder. And this is what I use to make my tea that tastes like coffee. By the way, it's completely caffeine free. It's another amazing thing. It's medicinal and caffeine free. I break down for you the medicinal benefits of the 3 ingredients that are in it. And I also explain how you don't need to use all 3 ingredients. You can just use chicory. You can just use chicory and one of the other 2. I don't have any dandelion root here. I do have dandelion blooms that I dehydrated last year. I use these for teas, lots of medicinal reasons to use those. But the roots, I have used all of the roots that I roasted last winter. But I purchase all of these things too. I mean, even though I have a pretty large garden, I can't grow it all. I can't grow enough, especially the way that I drink all of these drinks. So we are going to get to the soda, by the way. I just realized that the title is soda. We're going to get to that. So I forage my dandelions for the roots and for the flowers. I use the flowers for tea. The roots I will slice, dehydrate, and roast. And I will use the roots with the chicory. And the one ingredient that I can't grow myself in my favorite tea is cinnamon. You don't have to have the cinnamon, but I will purchase the cinnamon. By the way, I also will send you all the recipes of every drink I'm talking about. And I will give you links to every ingredient, to the places I source them from. I have spent years sourcing these ingredients, trying to find the best ingredient that is organic, that I can trust my source, and that is available in bulk, because bulk is always going to mean a much better price. And I drink these a lot. Our family drinks them a lot. So the best price that I can get. So I'll send you all that if you're interested. By the way, has anybody told me if you're coffee or tea? A lot of people have jumped on. Oh, good. Somebody said hello. I was starting to think, wait, can you guys hear me? Cindy says, good morning, and she says tea. Do you like coffee at all, Cindy? Or are you like me, like I used to be? Thought I didn't like it. Kathy says tea. Looks like tea's winning so far, guys. Hello, another tea person. Hello, hello. Hello, A-Joy. Thanks for joining again, A-Joy. Anybody else telling me? Oh, coffee. We got a coffee, guys. Neener Girl, right? Homestead says coffee. Kay Reed says tea. Polly says tea. Okay, I was wondering, you guys were being quiet in the beginning. At least my phone wasn't coming up with your responses. And I was thinking, is there something wrong? Because this is a topic people usually chime in on. Usually people are pretty adamant one or the other, right? Okay, so this tea that tastes like coffee, over the moon amazing. In fact, I have a canister here. Let me show you what the actual blend looks like. Let's see. I actually need to mix this up. I should have mixed some up with you guys today. My canister is getting empty. But that's what the blend looks like. It's just 3 things: the chicory, dandelion root, and cinnamon chips. People get hung up on the cinnamon chips, so I should explain. It's not the kind of cinnamon chips you put in your cookies or your baked goods. It's actual cinnamon bark that, let me see if I can find one in here. That is, Oh, that's a dandelion root. Well, here we go. That has been cut up into chunks. So it's a piece of cinnamon stick or bark that's been cut up. That's what the cinnamon chips are. So just those three things. And of course, that's an added bonus, the cinnamon. It does have amazing health benefits, but it's not necessary to get a great tasting cup of tea that tastes like coffee. Okay, so I figured that out. And then I realized there was another plant that I really wanted to grow for my drinks because I started making, I didn't get it out, I'll show you, a hot chocolate blend. Let me show you my tea cabinet and you'll see that I really do vote tea. This is my tea cabinet. Let me see if I can, instead of turning you around, I'm just gonna hold the camera funny. My hot chocolate, here it is. Okay. This is a blend that I make. I'm sorry guys, you probably, whenever I carry the phone around, I realize it probably makes you feel a little dizzy, so I'll stop. It's a mix that I make that has replaced hot chocolate mix in our house. Like I used to get that Swiss Miss stuff, not anymore. This is totally medicinal. This is a healthy option, completely shelf stable. I don't know how many ingredients are in it, but I'll send you the recipe for this too. I don't grow these ingredients, but, well, one of them I do. The reason I just thought of this is because making this is what introduced me to ashwagandha. I won't bring you with me, I'll just grab it, it's right here. If you haven't heard of ashwagandha, let me tell you, it is an amazing root. It's actually one of the best herbs that you can grow for stress, anxiety, depression. Here in a very long New England winter, it really, really makes a difference for me to really battle seasonal depression. And this is simply the powder from the roots of the ashwagandha plant. And I started growing this last year. Let me show you. Here I have some of the roots. And these have been nothing. Actually, these need to be roasted still. These are just the tiny little hair pieces that I didn't want to deal with, so that's why I still have these. The bigger pieces were kind of like my chicory that I showed you, and those I've already ground up. So that's my ashwagandha root. I only had 2 plants of them last year. I'm hoping to have more because it's an amazing thing what it does for me. When I started making this hot chocolate with the ashwagandha in it, I got to the point that I'm like, every single day I have to have a cup of this hot chocolate. It is just so good. And, you know, I felt the difference of how much better I felt. It also helps with brain function. If you, like me, tend to have a foggy brain in the afternoon, the ashwagandha will help. And it just kind of clears your head. It really helps you function better. And if you're suffering any memory losses because of stress, that's what it's really known for, because it's an adaptogen. And it helps our body regulate all the different things going on with our hormones and our stress levels and our cortisol. And it just helps regulate everything. I don't know how it works. It's absolutely mind-blowing and amazing that God has given us plants in nature that literally will help us with all the problems of society and the problems of our day and help us deal with them. It's just, it blows my mind. Simply planting a plant, pulling up the root, roasting it, and making some amazing drinks with it. So the ashwagandha I don't drink by itself. This I keep by my stove, and when I'm making my morning latte, I will mix this in. I just have a little hand frother, and I will mix this in with my espresso. Then I will add my warm milk, and I have an amazing drink. It has a little bit of a taste. I don't know if nutty's the word I would say. It's a little unusual, but you only need, let me show you what I have in here, a 1/4 teaspoon a day. So I will just use half of this typically 2 different times throughout the day. Or if I'm gonna have my hot chocolate, then I'll just use a little bit of this in my latte. Ashwagandha is something that I do write on my calendar when I start it on a daily basis, and I will take a break from it. My article, I'm pretty sure it's 8 weeks that they recommend that you take a break for a week or 2 and then go back. So I do that, but it's just amazing. I mean, I'm in menopause and the hormonal stuff is crazy. The cortisol stuff is crazy. And even if I personally don't feel stressed, my body, because of menopause, is dealing with all kinds of stressors. So this ashwagandha has been a game changer. And to think that I can grow it and have it available, like, that's what I'm always thinking. I am not a doomsdayer at all, and I am not a prepper in any way, shape, or form. But I'm always thinking about, okay, if society didn't look like it does, if it kind of crumbled, if I didn't have resources available to me like I do today, what would I want to be able to do on my own? What would I really want to be sufficient in some way? I'm not a believer in true self-sufficiency because I think all of us need each other. We all need to help each other. We're never going to be totally an island, and we shouldn't be. But what is it, that I'd want to master on my own if I really didn't have access to it? And the things I'm talking about today are those things: the chicory, the ashwagandha. So then the soda, which is what today's really about, right? Coffee, tea. I see more teas. Good morning. Coffee and tea. Karen was the first one to say it. She just went ahead and say it. Coffee and tea. It just depends on my mood, says Kayla. I love a good shaken espresso, but I haven't had my latte for this morning. I'm wanting it now. But I also love a good cup of tea. Yes, it's just two different things, right? But again, if you had to have just one, is my question. Could you pick? Which one would it be? It's hard, I know. Used to love coffee, but it hurts my stomach. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, KT. You know what? I'm not kidding. Try my chicory tea. So many people have reached out to me. So thankful for this recipe because it's been a whole game changer for them. They had to eliminate coffee for reasons like you, or because of the caffeine, different reasons, and they miss it so much. This chicory tea, you will not believe the difference that it makes. So please, after this is over, comment workshop, and I will send you all the information, KT, or message me. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't miss anybody else. How do you roast the roots? In the oven? Yes, I dehydrate them first. You could do the dehydrating in the oven, but I really like to do that at a low temperature to get all that moisture out. And then I will put them in the oven. It does take quite a while. I think I have all the directions for that written out. If I do, I'll include it with all the information I'm sending out. Is it safe for pregnancy and breastfeeding? The ashwagandha? That's a really good question. I know that chicory is a very mild medicinal root. It's not going to be a problem. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't believe there's any reason chicory would be a problem. The ashwagandha, I guess I would definitely check that. That's not something, I'm so far from that stage of life, and I don't have a daughter in that stage currently, so it's just not something I've thought to look up. That's a very good question. I wish I knew the answer. We have another both. We have a coffee. Kayla says if she had to choose, it would be tea. Okay, I'm with you. Team tea. This is my pear ginger tea that I make a blend of. Oh, it's one of my favorites. And I started making a ginger shot that I've been taking every morning. That also has helped a lot with some different menopausal things I'm dealing with. But when I make my ginger shot, I just use ginger and lemon, and I always have a lot of pulp left over. And that pulp, I will put a teaspoon of it in my tea as it's steeping. I use loose leaf tea, and I just put it right there in the steeper. So for 2 minutes, the pulp of my ginger shot is also infusing into my tea, which is so good with my pear ginger and my peach ginger. So I'm getting extra medicinal value from it. So I don't know why I just went into all that, but I thought I'd tell you what I was drinking. Another one, I choose tea. Okay. So I think it's time to get into the Coke story, I think. So this winter, this is the newest thing for me. Oh, there's something else I wanted to show you that I didn't get out. I'm going to have to get up again. Last winter, I'm planning my garden. I have my scrap paper in front of me. I'm sketching out what I want, where I want it. I have all my seeds everywhere. I have a big box that I have them all in, and they're all out around the floor. The fire's going. The barn cat is circling around wondering what I'm doing. She is a barn cat, but we're pretty soft. She comes inside too, especially on a cold night. Anyway, so she's circling around, interested in what I'm doing. And it hits me like a light bulb. Oh my word. Could I grow my ingredients for my DIY Coke? I've been making my own Coke for a couple years now. I think I told you in the beginning, my family, I have a lot of people who love soda. And I will be the first to tell you, it is not a one-for-one perfect replica of Coke. It's not. It's never going to be. It's medicinal and it's homemade, right? But it's really close and it's really good. I think it tastes better than Coke personally, much better. But I just make a simple syrup and I use a tablespoon of that in a tall cup of what I was going to show you. I'll just grab it. Oh, all these show and tell things. Let's see. Hopefully it's handy. Here we go. And you know what? While I'm grabbing, I'll grab my ginger pulp to show you that too. Okay, all the show and tell. First, this is my ginger pulp I was just telling you about. So that's just what was left over when I made my ginger shots. And I just put a little bit of that in my morning tea for all the medicinal value of the ginger and lemon. Okay, this is one of my favorite things in my kitchen. I use this to make seltzer water. But really what I use it for is to make Coke. I do often put like frozen raspberry, frozen strawberry, frozen peaches into some water, into one of these canisters that come with this, and get it nice and cold, because if it's cold, it's going to carbonate better. And then you need to have this lid, put it on, put it in here, and just give it a couple pushes. The carbon canister in here adds the carbonation, and you get amazing soda. So the reason I wanted to show you this particular one, and I'll send you a link to it, anybody who's interested, if you comment workshop when this is all over. This one is different than any other one. I told you I researched my ingredients really well in a long time. I researched this really well and for a long time too. And it's the only one I could find, the only soda machine I could find that I could put my flavoring in here. They all want you to just use water and then add the seltzer water to whatever else you're making. But I really wanted to be able to put my few tablespoons, well, I put about that much, so half a cup of my Coke syrup in here with the water and get Coke that I can pour out of here. And this one allows me to do that. I don't know what's special about it. Like I said, I'm not a science girl, so I don't know what the difference is with the science, but this one lets you do it. And the results are fantastic. So I'll send you my recipe for that as well. Comment workshop when this is over. I did not put all this stuff in my bio because I didn't have time. So I am going to need you to please come back. Please, 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 when this is over. If you comment now, unfortunately, I lose it when I publish this. So please come back when it's done and comment the word workshop. And I'll send you my recipe to make that Coke syrup. So anyway, I'm sitting there in front of the fire, the cat's in my lap, and I'm going, oh my word. I wonder if I could grow my Coke ingredients. How exciting would that be? To be kind of sufficient with my Coke ingredients. Like things like this get me really excited. So I pulled up my recipe and I realized, well, you know what? Instead of carrying you around, let me just turn this. The first ingredient right there. Oh, you can't see my finger pointing, right? There. The lemon tree. Usually it's outside, you know, except for the winter. So I knew I grew lemons and I knew I grow maple syrup. We are sugar makers. I already talked about that. So I knew the maple syrup part was easy for me. What else could I be sufficient in growing my own Coke? So I pulled up my recipe and I realized, okay, there are 4 things I'm just never going to be able to grow. I don't have this memorized, so I have to look it up. Nutmeg, cinnamon. I mean, the vinegar and the vanilla extract I can make myself, right? But I can't really have, well, the vinegar I can. I don't know why that's there, because the vinegar I can make myself. And then the vanilla extract I could make. So then the other things I realized I could grow: ginger, anise, and lavender. So I got super excited. So I got all my drinks together that I like to make, and I tried to figure out what I could grow myself. And I put together a list of 16 ingredients that are going to be in my medicinal drink garden this summer. I'll send you that list as well. So many things I have to send you. So many. They're all so fun. With links to where I sourced every single one. Some of them I have ordered as plants and other ones I have started as seeds. But it gets me excited about all the drinks that I'm going to have maybe I should call it from garden to cup, right? My from garden to cup garden, my medicinal drink garden. So I hope this has given you something to think about. Maybe you've never thought about growing some drink ingredients, and maybe you very well could. And it's so cool, guys, knowing exactly where your ingredients came from and knowing you can replicate your favorite drink. You don't have to rely on the grocery store to get this drink. So I hope that's encouraged you and inspired you a little bit. Please, please, please go check out the bundle. Grab it from the link in my bio. Send me your email that you used to purchase it, and I want to send you my fresh flour formula and the gifts that come with it. It's going to help you pretty much know the 4 things you need to know. Understand wheat berries. It's going to help you understand, I forget the second thing. I have my list though. Recipes. It's going to help you know how to convert your favorite recipe using fresh flour. It is a whole new ball game. It's going to help you make fresh flour blends that are just like you would purchase. Okay, I shouldn't say just like, that replicate, are similar to what your family's used to with store-bought flour. And it's going to help you know your limits. It helps you know where to start with fresh flour, what recipes to start with, what wheat berries are best to start with. It's called Fresh Flour Formula, and it is only for folks who are buying the bundle through my link. It's available only that way. So I hope that you go check that out, because I would love to send you a copy of it. It gets me excited talking about fresh flour as much as talking about all these medicinal drinks. Is there anything here I didn't show you? I guess I showed you everything. Oh, just the fact that I grow a whole lot of mint. I grow orange mint, chocolate mint, apple mint. There's more. Did I say orange? Peppermint, spearmint, for all my different teas. So that's the only, I think everything else here I have shown you. Yes. So that's the end of my show and tell. Thanks for joining my TED Talk too. Thanks, guys. If you are not following me, please, please, please hop over and do that, because I have so much coming up about fresh flour. I'm always sharing more with drink recipes, so I'd love to have you over on my page as well. And definitely, whether you've already purchased the bundle or you're looking into it, do it. So many great resources. Thanks for being a part of this workshop, guys.